Hey everybody. So yeah, still on the R9T. Actually, I'm going to drop it off now. I don't want to give it back. I want to keep it. I think this is about the 28th different bike I've ridden in the past year and a bit, since I passed my licence. And I'll tell you what, as I've always said, I'm very grateful to all the companies that have lent me bikes because it's helped to develop my biking palette. And what I meant by that was to understand the feel and appreciation of different bikes, to feel what they're like, because I think there's a few things I've learned from riding that many bikes in the space of just over a year, and of varying styles and engine sizes. And that is, there is a lot more to a bike than what's on paper. A lot more. The main thing for me, and the reason for it particularly that I fell in love with this bike so hard, is the way that it makes you feel. Because each bike has its own personality, the way that it is. You know, I've always felt this way about bikes. I've always named my bikes because I always feel that they have a personality, they have a way that they are. Now admittedly, there are some bikes out there which have no personality, and they're the ones which on paper can be absolutely brilliant. But when you get to ride it, it's just something's missing, something's not quite right. Oh, rush hour, why did you do this at rush hour? Well, I didn't have a choice, I had to get it back by a certain time. There's no one coming. Except a truck. Do you know what, fuck it. It might take slightly longer, but I'd rather be moving and take slightly longer than being sat in traffic. I've also noticed that the type of engine makes a huge difference as to the way that you feel you should ride it, or the way you feel you want to ride. Like something like this, which has got a very, very powerful, torquey, low revving, that responds best to being, you can ride it hard, but you have to be gentle, more gentle and smooth with it. It feels kind of refined, and you tend to find yourself riding at a more steady pace, trying to be more smooth with things. Then you get on, like for instance my DRZ, and the best way that that bike responds is to just grab it by the scruff of the neck and wring it. And it's a much more aggressive type of riding style, you know? Whereas in some sports bikes, particularly the ZX6R of Biker Dave's I rode, that old J2, because of the engine note, because of the way that you have to rev it to really get all of what it's got to give out of it, and because of how good it sounds like that, you just want to ride it like that, and you end. So it really is the bike that determines how you're going to ride it. But sometimes bikes are interesting. Sometimes you're getting a bike which you think will be one way and is actually another. One of the biggest surprises was like the R1200 GS. I thought that would be a, you know, probably a bit more like this, a bit more of a sedate, you know, get where you're going, yeah, you do good speeds, but you know, but no, you thrash that thing around, you throw it in the corners, and you love it. And it's probably the fact that it can do it that surprises you, and you just like, and you just want to experience that more. I don't know. But it's probably different to all of us, because our personality has a big part of interacting with the personality of the bike, and then if they match up, then you've got a winner. And there's another thing that's said about bikes, which I heard when I was younger and I assumed was true, and didn't know until I tried other things. And that's, you know, oh, that bike's lethal. Oh, it's a widowmaker. That, you know, oh, that thing will kill you in 5 minutes. It's not true. It is not the bike that causes any danger to anyone. It's the person. But it's not true. It comes down to one thing. You. And your ability to control your own hand and know the limits of a bike, or find the limits of a bike progressively, rather than trying to find 11 straight away. You've got to work your way up to it. Otherwise, yes, you probably will end up killing yourself. Even on 125s, this is true. In my sort of first couple of years riding, when I was 22, 23, 24, you know, I would ride like an absolute bellend. I don't mind saying it. I wasn't as bad as some that I've seen, but I would go too quickly. I mean, there was a corner in a 40, that my challenge every day was to see how fast I could get around it. I managed to get around that at nearly 60 at one point, which on a 125, yeah, imagine it's not that difficult, but with my experience level at the time, I was quite impressed with myself. However, had there been stop traffic halfway through the middle of that corner, yeah, I would have been straight up the arse of it, and luckily that never happened. But I now realise how dumb that was, and then by my mid-20s, I was riding a lot more sensibly, and you can, as I said, I've always said, you can always have fun, but there is a time and a place, and a lot of times the time and the place means you can see the road ahead of you and you're not near a busy area. I left the house a little later than I was planning to, so I should still get there on time, but I had two options. I could guarantee getting there on time and going the A3, or maybe be 20 minutes late and go the twisty way. And I'm going the twisty way because I have to. I may never get to ride this bike again. And I've put a couple of posts on social media about this bike, about how much I love it and I want one. And people said, just buy it. It's such an unrealistic thing to say. Oh, just buy it. Okay, well, do you want a Ferrari? We'll just buy it. What, you haven't got enough money? Yeah, well, I have the same problem. And I'm not putting myself into debt for it. And funny enough, yesterday, I think it was, or was it the day before, I had a comment that said, can't you afford a better bike like Baron von Grumble? Which is such a retarded comment. Sorry dude if you're a fan, but I am going to rip this one apart. Can't you buy a better bike like Baron von Grumble? Well, forget Baron. Can't you buy a better bike like someone who owns a more expensive bike? And it shows such a lack of understanding of motorcycles, that comment, because it doesn't have to be an expensive bike to be a good bike. He probably means, can't you afford like a 1,000 or something? I assume that's what he means. And you know, because sports bike is better. As I've said, out of all of these bikes, the ones I want the most is a DRZ400. Well, mine's a 440SM. I think that I do prefer the lower down grunt of having the 440 kit on it. And an R9 T1200. Neither of these looks like the bike that your 8-year-old self would have wanted, because your 8-year-old self would have wanted a super sport. But when you get to ride them, okay, it depends on your personality and your choices. Some people, that is where they want. They want that, and that's it. But for me, no, it doesn't have to be that. I mean, height might have a lot to do with it. But I have found that I prefer torquey engines to high revving engines, although I do love, as I say, the Kawasaki, because it screams and it sounds so good. It's just so planted, it's so solid feeling, and you don't have to be going fast for it to feel nice. Just use the engine braking, watch out for cement trucks, avoid the bumpy bits on the inside. So yeah, bikes have personalities, and sometimes they work with yours and sometimes they don't, and that's why I always say that every bike has a purpose and every bike has a place, but it may not fit yours, and it may only fit, you know, a handful of people's ever. So that's why I always say every bike has a place, every bike has a reason to exist. It may only fit in with a few people's wants and needs and sort of, you know, the way that they are, but for them it makes the most sense. And that's why I say, you know, don't take the piss out of someone's bike. If someone's riding a bike, it's probably because it's the one that they want. You know, we're all different people, we all have different tastes, and look what happens if you all go and buy the same bike. You get the older Gixxer thing, because a few years ago it seemed like everyone owned a Gixxer. It's really not that like that anymore. Things are really diversified out. Now everyone owns an RR. I'm joking, but it is ridiculous, the number of them that you see. Actually, if I was going to say what is the most common bikes that I see down Loomies, it's a bit difficult, but on some days you can't help but notice Panigale after Panigale after Panigale. I'd love to hear your input on this. What have your many years of experience and trying many different bikes out told you? Have you been surprised by any bikes? Like, I mean, I I liked the look of the R9T, but I didn't realise how much I'd enjoy riding it. It never seemed like something I'd want to own, but Jesus Christ, I do now. It's a giant tree of growth. Oh. That deer on the side of the road has been there for... Oh my god, I'm actually gagging. It's been there for about 4 or 5 days. Yesterday it still looked like a deer, but it really badly smelled. Today it's kind of inside out and black. Oh, that actually... Oh, that was horrible. I don't want to give it back. I love this thing too much. Cows. Those are some skinny ass cows, man. They are like full on skinny. Don't worry, R9T. What I'll do is I'll come back every now and then and I'll give you a little stroke. No! No, the road is coming to... Oh, it's a dead pigeon. No, the road is coming to an end. Barnstormers is just up there. Oh, look, there's Barnstormer. Right, Barnstormer. Yeah, you're not having it back. Nope. Sorry. We're going to run away, R9T. We're going to cross the borders into Sussex. And they won't be able to follow us. And it'll be us forever. One day, she will be mine. Oh yes, it will be mine. It will be mine. Hello Derek, I do miss you. I do want to have a good blast on that on the way back, but... Man, thanks Barnstormer for making me want something I can't afford. Bastards. No, but seriously, thank you Barnstormer for lending me the bike. You know, it's very, I'm very appreciative of the fact that they're willing to just lend me a bike for the weekend like that. Let's have a look. C in black, and that's the like brushed stainless steel tank with the little tail. Price on the road, 10 grand. 10 grand. 10 grand. Anyone want to buy a left nut for 10 grand? I'll throw in a right kidney. I want to even it out. Anyway, I'll catch you next time. Don't forget, hoodies and t-shirts are available from the links in the description, key tags and stickers. Any support is always appreciated, hugely. And also, if you want to get an action camera and start this whole vlogging malarkey, you can get 10% off Drift Innovations website itself using code I am spicy. So thank you very much for watching. Please don't forget to like, share, comment and all of that stuff. And I'll catch you next time. These are nice. They're Brembo front calipers, twin disc on the front. They are perfectly powerful. Nothing wrong there. Where the problem comes is the inch of